Hi, welcome to Rick Snider's Washington on YouTube, where you get the whole story. Today I thought I'd talk about a Derby owner. He's trying to get it one more time. His Central Quality is a 2-to-1 favorite. A lot of people like him. I don't. I'm going to toss the favorite from my picks because I think he's just not in peak form. But if he beats me, he beats me. Anyway, he is owned by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is a sheikh who is the head of the United Arab Emirates. You'd also know that from its main city of Dubai. Now, this guy's essentially a king in his country, and he has really wanted to win the Derby for many years. It's been about 25 years of chasing it. He's 0-11, never come close, despite having one of the more impressive horse racing operations in the world. He has horses on 6 continents. I know one time he told me his stable was more than 2,000 horses. He's won just about every other major race around, but Derby is one he wants, and it's not the one he can get. So it's kind of interesting. The great part about being in the newspaper business for me was meeting all these famous people, and we got to meet him one day outside the barns of Churchill Downs. Now, he doesn't speak to his media in his country, at least he didn't then. This was back in the 90s when I met him, and there was about 15 of us or so waiting outside the barn for him to come out and see if he'd talk to us. We weren't really sure. And we even had a discussion among the media about how do we address this guy, because he's essentially a king. And I said, yeah, but he's not my king. So I'm not sure I'm calling him Your Highness. I don't know. I think we awkwardly just didn't say his name on this. Very nice man. He's now 71, doesn't come to the Derby anymore. But back then, he's probably in his late 40s when I met him. Kind of still new to the power. And he did speak to us for quite a while. And I was a very engaging man. And I often thought about him after 9/11 when we talk about how you hated people from other countries. And I thought, this man could not be part of such a thing. He just can't. And now he's had a lot of allegations against him in his own world. And I'll leave it to that. But I thought he was a pretty honorable guy. And the most interesting thing I remember in the end is he said, my friends, I bought gifts. And he does this, and suddenly there's like 6 guys come out with these boxes from the stables. And he owns Godolphin stables, which is a kind of like a royal blue is their color. And they had shirts and hats and pants and all this gear for everybody. Now, the press acts like it's never had a meal before in its life, so it devours food. You can imagine what these people did with clothes. Man, they ran for these clothes to grab it. Well, I've always been kind of a big guy. Chances are it wouldn't have fit me any. And the king sees me holding back. I just let everybody else just go fight for it. And he says to me, what's the matter? You don't want anything? And I said, well, no, it probably wouldn't fit me or anything. He looks at his other guy and has him go get me stuff and bring it to me. And I thought, wow. I mean, I couldn't say no now. That'd be an insult. And, the hat fit. So I gave away the other parts that people really love horse racing. I always remember he was just seemed like such a generous man on this. And, 5 minutes after meeting him, we went and met the richest guy in Japan at the time, who owned Fusaichi Pegasus, the big favorite who would lose. But I went from a king to the richest man in Japan in 5 minutes, walking among barns in a backstretch. The Derby is like that. All kinds of famous people come. Some of them own horses. And actually, most people who own horses nowadays are big-time money people. Because it costs a lot for these kind of horses. I mean, you'll hear a story of, a $10,000 claimer rose to the ranks, funny side story. That's going to happen once in your lifetime. Mostly, these are the top-bred, thoroughbred horses that cost anywhere from 6 to 7 figures to buy as a 2-year-old. And they cost a lot of money to run them on this. So you got to have deep pockets. And they always say the way to make a man a millionaire in horse racing is to have $2 million to start, because they do run through some money. But they chase that Derby dream like no other, because even when it comes time for the Preakness, with 2 weeks later, which is a Triple Crown race, they don't have the same passion for it. A lot of them don't come. They just say, no, I'm here for the Derby. Unfortunately, in horse racing, it's becoming further and further away from its glory days, and a generation of owners who remember the great times of the past have pretty much passed away. So it's the new generation owning these horses that doesn't have the ties to those old days, and they see them more as investments and such. They lost a little bit of the passion of the game. Derby is a wonderful sport. Saturday, 6:59 p.m. post time. It only takes 2 minutes. It's probably during the commercial break or some other channel. Watch the race. I'm going to give out my winner, hopefully, on late Friday. I like to wait till Friday because I've learned, like I say, I paid my tuition of the University of Twin Spires, because you pick a horse on Tuesday, suddenly Friday, Thursday, something happened. The trainer will say, "No, it's not a big deal." And then after the race, he'll go, "Yeah, I was kind of kidding. It was a big deal. But we had to run the race." Well, you were doomed. So I learned, wait till Friday, make sure everybody's in one piece, and then make your pick. And I'm not picking essential quality. I'm sorry, Sheik. I don't see it happening for you this time. But he'll keep trying. He's got the money to do it and the resources. Maybe one day he will. I don't know. All right, I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider Sports, and thanks for coming along, hearing another Derby story. I'll do a couple more. Busy days right now with the NFL draft and the Derby. I'll see you again soon.